Yeah, it's so slow, this thing. Which one is the HDMI? Oh, drat. If not, there it is. Will work, yes. Great. Good. Okay, so I'm here on behalf of the SIGplan Climate Committee. That's Mike, Krista, Jens, and myself. And when I give talks like this, I used to spend a few slides arguing that climate change was important and urgent and everybody should be thinking about it. I am not going to insult your intelligence or waste your time with that argument. I think that argument is over. Anybody that reads the newspaper knows. And knows that, that quick action is needed. A question that you might have is ACM or SIGplan the place to take quick action? Many people believe that it is, namely that SIGplan and ACM more broadly have both a responsibility and an opportunity to lead in this area. A responsibility because our activities have a significant carbon impact. Most of us took planes to get here. And this needs to be balanced against their undoubted benefits. And a responsibility because we as scientists, we're not climate scientists, but we know how science is done and how to believe or heed the warnings of other scientists who have taken a look at the actual facts of the matter. And because we can function as a model for other scientific and non-scientific parts of society. So what are we doing? Many things. So in the past few years, SIGplan conferences have been gradually moving toward virtual, not only because of carbon footprint concerns, but in large part motivated by that. So POPL and ICFP have been using virtual PCs since 2018. Splash is joining us this year. More recently, this year, for the first time, ACM has allowed us to include carbon offsets on the registration site for conferences. This was first used at the Federated conference over the summer and was not used at this POPL because, and this has already been mentioned, but I would like to give another round of thanks to Microsoft for 100% offsetting all of your participation in this POPL. So these are some of the things that we've been doing. What's coming up next? We have two very concrete proposals that we are beginning to push. And if you want to see more details, I urge you to look for the March issue of CACM, which has a viewpoints article from the Climate Committee setting out these proposals. Proposal one is that all ACM conferences should be mandated to gather and publicize their carbon footprints. So transparency. Both to support decision making and help people understand what the actual footprint of these conferences is, and of course to nudge organizers in the direction of lowering footprints. But then second, that ACM should impose a centralized carbon surcharge on conferences, essentially a local to ACM carbon tax based on travel distance. And you can imagine using that for many things. The obvious thing is buying carbon offsets, but there are a lot of other things you could do with that money, like supporting remote attendance at conferences, supporting green computing research, and so on. These at the moment are just proposals, not plans. And they're going to take quite a bit of discussion and refinement to turn into to plans and then into action. But already some action is happening on a voluntary basis across several SIGs. So SIGplan has been doing this actually for a while, analyzing our registration data and trying to understand the footprints of our various major conferences. We are hoping to have something ready to publish about that soon. A little bit further away, but work is going on right now, is a cross-SIG effort to gather and analyze registration data together to begin to support this, this process of gathering and publicizing and eventually taxing carbon footprints. And I would like to particularly call out Yannick Zakowski, who has really been instrumental in making this part of the effort happen. Okay, and then just to close up, because we don't have too much time, I would be very happy to talk to any and all of you, and as would the other members of the Climate Committee. We would love to hear from people that agree with us and support what we're doing. We would also love to hear from people that do not agree with us or think we're going about it the wrong way. Discussion is good. We have written down a number of reports, ideas, things like that. You can find them on the SIGplan Climate webpage, which is easy to find. In particular, we have a mailing list. It's called ACM Climate, not SIGplan Climate, because we really view this now as an ACM-wide activity, and other SIGs are very much starting to get into the act. And finally, of course, you can do your part. So your travel to this POPL has been offset. Thank you, Microsoft. But you do a lot of other things that create greenhouse gas emissions. You can calculate the footprint of those and use a carbon offset vendor to offset your travel and other things. You can, possibly more importantly, you can donate to political organizations or indeed participate in political organizations that are promoting good climate policies. And finally, you can help us promote awareness of climate issues within ACM, but you also participate in other organizations, your company, your university, your local community. All of these need to know and begin taking action. So we have lots of projects we would love to talk. Thank you.